Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, back again with Star Wars The Clone Wars. Last time on The Clone Wars, we had Old Friends Not Forgotten. This was part 1 of the Siege of Mandalore story arc, where Anakin and Obi-Wan were summoned back after a pretty crazy battle, and they met up with Ahsoka and Bo-Katan, and they requested Republic help in retaking Mandalore from Maul. Unfortunately, the Republic's kind of busy at the moment, and especially with the Chancellor, who has just been kidnapped by General Grievous, which is the events of Revenge of the Sith. And so Anakin decided to divide up the 501st, and they promoted Rex to Commander, and they basically gave that half of the 501st to Ahsoka. And that was the last time that Ahsoka and Anakin really ever saw each other, which is sad. And they didn't hug! Damn it. And then, Ahsoka led the clones into battle with the Mandalorians in the first part of the Siege of Mandalore, and then Ahsoka went underground and found Maul, who is disappointed that the wrong Jedi showed up. So, that is basically that. We are moving on into part 2 of the Siege of Mandalore. Gonna be pretty crazy, I'm sure, man. So we might as well go ahead and get right into this episode of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Here we go. Good. They're keeping this intro. Although a little different. The Clone Wars. Part 2. The Phantom Apprentice. Oh, they are apprentices, you know? Sidious's apprentice and Anakin's apprentice.
I imagine we have several mutual friends.
I wouldn't put it that way.
Of course not. But I'm afraid your way of thinking is behind the times.
It's her. Come on, we'll trace the signal.
Okay. So they haven't...
I was certain that
They haven't met.
There would soon the Jedi and the Republic will no longer be the controlling interest in the galaxy.
He knows.
And who will be? You?
No. Darth Sidious.
Oh, shit. He knows. They can't pull an alliance of convenience. Ah, he's got his double!
Darth Sidious is the Sith Lord who orchestrated the Clone Wars and played both sides of it from the beginning.
Right.
I first learned the name from Count Dooku, though any chance of learning more about Sidious from Dooku has been lost.
Yeah,
Why?
Dooku's dead.
Because Count Dooku is dead. Anakin killed him while rescuing the Chancellor.
Oh,
With Dooku
This is
gone,
really a
he lost the
companion
vital
movie,
link to
honestly.
understanding the I'm being sent to hunt down General Grievous on Utapau.
right.
What about Anakin?
The Senate has allowed the Supreme Chancellor to remain in office long after his term has expired. The Council wants to know what his true intentions are.
Yeah. Oh my
The
gosh.
Chancellor has been a great friend and mentor to Anakin.
This is everything
I
I've
can't imagine
ever
he is happy
wanted to
about
see.
this. Tell Anakin.
I will.
Oh my gosh. Ah, shit. This is so incredible.
He was asking about you. The ARC trooper, Jesse. Maul realized he was older. Somehow, looked in his mind.
What?
And he took him. He took Jesse alive.
Okay. The hell's he doing with Jesse?
I ain't telling you anything.
It is not up to you. Your mind will speak,
Ugh.
or it will break.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Is this Ahsoka Tano?
Okay, he wants information. That's why he went for an older trooper. Someone who knew her longer.
It wasn't just Kenobi he wanted, no. There was someone else he was interested in.
Anakin.
Who?
No, wait. It was...
Oh! Oh! Oh, crap. Should have shut the door.
Skywalker.
Okay. Just Skywalker. Ugh. I thought he was gonna say Vader. I love the yellow visor. It's so sinister. And I don't like the color yellow. But it works there. Properly menacing. Holy shit. I love watching Mandalorians do their thing. Oh! Gonna pull Superman. Maybe not. Whoa! Ah! Okay, she survived at least. That was awesome.
Maul just told the Syndicate leaders to go into hiding.
Is that... Was that Dryden Voss?
You once liberated me from my imprisonment by Sidious and his apprentice. At the time, I thought Dooku was an old fool, but now I see. He and I are the same.
Huh.
One
Cast
step
aside.
behind.
Yeah.
The galaxy will be remade, and in the chaos, we must seize what power we can. It
Okay.
is not the... You will die as warriors.
They like that. Okay. So, that's the plan. Is to do as much as he can to gain power in the ensuing chaos of Order 66.
Then you will have your opportunity to lead.
I agree.
Ugh. He's just there. Whoa! Oh! So fluid. Oh, shit. Shit's exploding.
One of you might want to deal with that.
You should go. Your people need you.
Yeah.
Don't stay on my account. We'll be fine.
Go.
Alright. That means it's just you and him now. Ugh! Otto! Officer Wilhelm!
Yes, but you were motivated to leave by the hypocrisy of the Jedi Council. We were both tools for greater powers.
They're similar.
They cannot defeat Sidious. But together, you and I can.
Just the two of them.
Every choice you have made has led you to this moment.
Huh. Oh, boy.
I will help you.
Uh-huh.
What do you want with Anakin Skywalker?
He is the key to everything.
To bring balance to the Force?
To destroy. He has long been groomed for his role
Shit.
as my master's new apprentice.
Oh, fuck.
You lie.
I see the Padawan needs one last lesson.
Oh! Oh, shit. Oh! Alright, here we go. Oh, that's actually Ray Park doing that, too. I know that. Oh. Oh, come on, girl. You can do it. Obi-Wan did it. Oh!
You're lucky Anakin didn't show up.
So,
The way you're fighting, you wouldn't have lasted long.
Up. Oh, and flip. Ooh. I like that. I like that, going through, his lightsaber's going through as well.
No more. I need backup. Our forces are falling. We need your support.
I don't think he cares.
No, I think not. Any moment, my ship will be arriving. Die well, Mandalorian.
So, well, you'll die in
Obi-Wan
battle.
was right.
Ugh.
You are difficult to kill.
Yeah. Why you gonna capture? I love this place to fight. Yeah. Oh! Oh, I like that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's like Pirates 3. On top of the mast. Uh-oh. Oh, does she only have the small one? Oh, she's got neither.
Join me. Or die.
Never.
Oh!
You're all going to burn. We're all going to die. You don't know what you're doing.
It's like a prophet now. Well, you got him. Good work, girl. Oh. Oh my gosh. Well, they captured him. That's good. Oh my gosh, this might be, like, my favorite Star Wars anything now. Like, ever. Honestly. It's straight up a companion movie to Revenge of the Sith, which is amazing. It almost makes me wonder, like, could you watch... Like, I want someone to do, like, a supercut when this is all over of... Like, I want someone to take everything and put these in different places, you know? So, like, it plays the first episode of this, part 1, and then it plays the opening of Revenge of the Sith, killing Dooku, all the way basically to... It would basically have to go to Obi-Wan getting the mission to go to Utapau, and then it would show this episode, then you just keep going. Like, I want a supercut of this, honestly. It would be a little weird because, first off, it's a supercut of animation to live action and all the performances are kind of different, and obviously Anakin in Revenge of the Sith is never going to reference Ahsoka, but man, it kind of makes... Honestly, it makes Anakin's turn that much sadder, honestly, because like, yeah, like when you think about it, like, okay, so, the whole idea is that, Anakin will turn to the dark side, but that is just so out of the realm of possibility for Ahsoka that, it just makes it all the sadder, I wrote down a lot of notes for this episode. Like, this is definitely... I am loving these episodes, man. This may be one of the best Star Wars things ever, honestly. And it works. One of the main reasons why it works is honestly because this is the finale. This is what the Clone Wars has been building up to, This is what we've been building up to, basically, So, I love that. How many notes did I take? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 notes on this episode. So, and honestly, I have to say, too, and without sparking, like, anything in the comments, I do have to say that, watching these episodes honestly has me so much more hyped than I ever was for The Rise of Skywalker. And I don't want to spark anything big. And, overall, I still liked Rise of Skywalker, but it definitely has its flaws. But that's the thing is that, this I feel like, okay, this is some big, important shit, Like, this is a big Star Wars movie. This is important, Like, it's basically like you need... Anyone who watches Star Wars needs to watch this, basically. That's basically how I feel about this, which, that extends to all of the Clone Wars, So, I like that. So yeah, let's just go ahead and pop into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is the moment. So, the whole reason that all of this is happening, it's not just that, oh, well, Maul, he just happens to be, on Mandalore. It's like, oh, what's he doing? He is preparing. I like this. This is a good plot point. He is preparing for the moment of chaos. For that moment where the galaxy changes. He's waiting for Order 66, for when the Jedi are deposed and Darth Sidious takes control with the new Empire. He is now preparing for that moment, which is really, really cool. So yeah. I wrote down Dooku dead. So again, because last episode we had the tie-in, okay, well, why can't, Anakin and Obi-Wan show up to Mandalore to help out? Well, it's because they're going to go off to save the Chancellor, which is the beginning of episode 3. So now it shows, we meet up with Obi-Wan after the whole thing with saving the Chancellor, and he confirms Count Dooku is dead. Anakin killed him. Which, honestly, that's the thing, is when you watch this and he says that, he's dead. Anakin killed him. It's one of those things like, oh, It is one of those crazy things, and especially after watching all of the Clone Wars, where Anakin, like, they've never been able to beat Dooku, and then just to hear Anakin killed him. It's like, whoa, shit. So, and I also like the tie-in, Maul saying, like, like, I thought Dooku was just some old fool, but in reality, he's me. He was another apprentice that was a means to an end and cast aside in favor of Anakin, So, that was pretty crazy. And it's just crazy to think about in relation to episode 3, Crazy to think about, okay, because it's not just, Anakin, Anakin and Obi-Wan, they're off to go be in episode 3, they're going off, another happy landing and all that. It's like, to then think, like, if you watch episode 3 now, like, okay, they just left Ahsoka. They just left Ahsoka when they went to help the Chancellor. And then, before, Obi-Wan goes off on his next mission to hunt down General Grievous, he says, it basically, like, right after that, they say their goodbyes, he goes off, and then he, talks to Ahsoka again. It's all just tied in now, which, honestly, they never really have done in Star Wars. They've never done this with one of their properties where it's like, okay, this is taking place at the exact same time. The closest they've done is Rogue One, where, it's like, okay, well, in Rogue One, that leads up to A New Hope. Like, A New Hope takes place like 5 minutes later, So that's the closest they've done. But this particular arc is intertwined with Revenge of the Sith, which, Clone Wars has never done. None of these have ever done that before, so I really do like that. That's really, really amazing. I wrote down Jesse and info. Now, at first, when it was like, oh, he's going to extract information from your mind, it's like, oh, crap, what's this new, like, Force technique? And I was like, wait a minute, you dumbass. They've always been able to do that, They've always been able to do that, so I'm stupid, but But yeah, but I do like the distinction that, you know, the guy said that he found out that Jesse is older, and so he took him to get him for information about Ahsoka. Because that's the thing, he specifically wanted information about Ahsoka because he knows about Ahsoka, and Ahsoka knows about him. But I do believe the two of them have never interacted yet. Am I right? Am I right about that? You guys can help me out in the comments, but I don't think they've ever interacted before this, and you know, obviously, yeah, in Rebels, but that takes place later. So I think in the timeline, I don't think like they've never interacted before this. This is the first time they meet, basically. So I do like that thing where it's like, okay, he wanted Jesse because Jesse's older, so he would have more information about Ahsoka. You know, like probably the only better thing would be if he got Rex, because Rex has so much information about Ahsoka because he was there from when she first started out as a Padawan. So, man, just thinking back, okay, I used to take the Clone Wars for granted back in the day, and I mean, I feel like we all sort of had that, you know, that period where no one liked Ahsoka, but I really do feel like I've turned around on the show, and obviously we've all turned around on Ahsoka. So, you know, I really took it for granted. I do still think I like Rebels more overall, but Clone Wars, man, I'm friggin' enjoying it. It's so amazing. I'm actually rewatching some of Clone Wars. Haven't gotten very far, but like when I rewatched the movie, and I was actually getting a little emotional, like, oh, Ahsoka, young Ahsoka, you know, which I guess is sort of an off-topic question, but it's like, how old is Ahsoka supposed to be? You know, because it's like a few years later. It's a few years later. I mean, Anakin, I believe, was like 19 in Attack of the Clones, so maybe he's, you know, maybe he's around 22 in Revenge of the Sith. That's fucking crazy. I'm 22 years old. I'm 22. I look like him too. I've got the hair. I don't have the body, but I make up for that with a beard. So, anyway. Yeah. I feel like if I got skinny, I could cosplay as Anakin Skywalker, but that's only if I got skinny. No one wants a tubby Anakin Skywalker, but yeah. Anywho, so yeah, Jesse info, that was pretty cool. I wrote down Maul's vision. So yeah, Maul had a vision of everything, which is pretty interesting. He knew that chaos would ensue with, you know, a new order, basically. A new order taking the place of the Republic. And I like that, you know, he talks to all the Syndicate leaders, and he's like, hey, you need to go into hiding because shit's about to go down. Which we saw the leader of the Pikes. Let me see if I can get back to that scene, because I believe it's about right here. Okay, I can barely see them.
What's going on?
Maul just told the Syndicate leaders to go into hiding.
Ah, damn it. Okay, well, that was the... So we had the leader of the Pikes, who we saw in the last arc, in the Martez arc, which, man, this really makes you, like, appreciate the Martez arc, too. Because, which I really did like the Martez arc, the Martez sister arc, but to have that tie-in with the Pikes too, that was really cool. Well, okay, so we don't know who this, at least I don't know who this guy on the left here is. I can't place who that is. This dude on the right, though, that is Dryden Voss, isn't it, from Solo? Which makes sense because, you know, Maul is the leader of Crimson Dawn. So that makes sense. It looks like him, you know. He's got the hair. I can kind of see he's got the lines too. So that's definitely a bit of a younger. not too much younger though, but that's definitely Dryden Voss, which I believe that was his name, wasn't it? It was Dryden Voss, wasn't it? The leader of Crimson Dawn. I'm going to IMDb. Solo. Yeah, Dryden Voss. So yeah, that's totally him right there, which is pretty cool. Which is a good tie-in to Solo. Man, I liked Solo. I don't know. I find that, I keep finding like a bunch of videos on YouTube of people like defending Solo as a good movie. I thought it was a good movie. I had a ton of fun at it. So I'm glad, it's getting some recognition by people. But yeah. So we also had the elevator scene with Bo-Katan, where she was fighting that one Mando, and I think that was, I guess that was Gar Saxon, because he had the visor and everything, the yellow visor. So she fought off Saxon, and then I do like, she was basically trying to stop it, but it almost seemed like she was going to pull a Superman, start flying back up. So that was really cool. I really did like that. Just kind of shows the strength, I guess, of a Mandalorian. So that was really cool. We did get a bit of backstory with Maul, where he said that the Mandalorian saved him from Sidious. Let me hear that part again.
You once liberated me from my imprisonment by Sidious.
Yeah.
His apprentice. At the time, I thought Dooku.
Okay, so yeah, because there's no really like, the last time we see Maul in the Clone Wars, he gets his ass beat basically by Sidious, and that's also when Sidious kills Savage, and it's like, okay, well, and then that's just kind of it, and it kind of leaves you hanging like, the fuck did we do all this for then? We don't really get to see what happens, and then the next time we see him in the timeline, the next time we would see him was in Solo. So I like, now we get him here at the Siege of Mandalore, and we do get how he escaped Sidious and Dooku. So that was pretty cool, that the Mandalorians actually saved him. They liberated him from Sidious and Dooku, and now he's, leading them, basically. So that was pretty cool. And then the chaos, I did write that down, that Maul wants to get as much power in the chaos as he can, which honestly is a really great idea, Basically, he's going to profit off of the shift in power to the Empire, which is pretty cool. And honestly, if anyone can do it, yeah, it is probably Maul, Maul, who has, played his part. He hasn't really known what was going to happen, but he's played his part in all this, and now he has power over Mandalore, and he has power over a bunch of the Syndicates, and now he's going to make sure, basically, that he maintains that power and gets more power in the ensuing chaos of the regime change, basically. So that was pretty cool. I wrote down similarities. There are similarities between Ahsoka and Maul, that they were both apprentices, they're both apprentices, and they were both cast out apprentices, basically, Maul, who was presumed dead, and then once he came back, Sidious didn't fucking want him anymore, basically. It's like, oh, well, I got Dooku, and then once I'm fucking done with him, I'm gonna have fucking Vader, so fuck you, So, yeah, and, Ahsoka still tries to defend herself and says, well, I'm not, I left voluntarily. It's like, yeah, but you left because they kind of, they didn't force you to. They wanted her to stay, but she is sort of cast out, they threw her under the bus for a while, so It's like, even though, like, they threw her under the bus and then they tried to get her back out, and then she was like, you fucking threw me there still, even if you got me out from under the bus, you still threw me under the fucking bus, so I'm leaving, you know? So, that was interesting. And we did actually get a little bit of, a little bit of temptation, not towards the dark side, I don't feel like. It's obvious that, it's very obvious that Ahsoka was not, tempted by the dark side, but more, she was definitely tempted by, an alliance of convenience, where, she's not joining Maul, she's not, joining the dark side, but she is willing to ally with him in order to get something done, that being defeating Sidious. So she was tempted for a second, but then, once it was revealed why, he wanted Anakin, then she just couldn't do it anymore. She didn't believe him, basically, which is probably the saddest part. It makes me wonder if at the end of this arc we're going to, get Order 66, and she's going to learn that Anakin has become Darth Vader. So maybe that's going to be so sad. I don't want to see this girl's heart get broken. Like, that's the thing, is that this is kind of going to be a sad finale, kind of a sad finale to the Clone Wars, which it does make sense, obviously, because, we know where this is all going, but we know where this is all going, and that pretty much almost nothing good can happen until the destruction of the first Death Star, Like, this is a period of horrible things, basically. There are some smaller victories, like in Rebels and stuff, like against the Grand Inquisitor or against Thrawn, but, I mean, nothing really is going to be good for the galaxy until the destruction of the first Death Star in A New Hope. So that's the thing is... But that's the thing, is that, okay, after all of this, Clone Wars is going to end on a sad note, but it does make sense, honestly, because the prequels end on such a sad note, Like, and yes, I know technically they end on, well, the hope of Luke and Leia, which we know will happen in the original trilogy, but still, it does end on sort of a depressing note, And that's the thing, is we're probably going to have to watch Ahsoka's heart get broken, basically, when she learns what has become of Anakin. So, but I did like that Maul's plan was to lure in Anakin with all this in order to kill him and kill Kenobi on top of it, just because fuck Kenobi, that's what Maul's thinking. It's like, kill two birds with one lightsaber, So that's the thing, is he was trying to lure in Anakin, but Ahsoka came instead, which is interesting, because, he said, like, I want to destroy Sidious's pride, his prized apprentice, So, but that's what pushed Ahsoka over the edge, because she just could not believe that Anakin would turn to the dark side, So... Oh, it's so sad. I'm not looking forward to watching this girl's heart get broken, Anakin, you're breaking my heart. Oh. She'll probably, if she says that, she'll probably say it better than in Revenge of the Sith. No, I mean that's the thing, it's going to be as heartbreaking as it was for, Obi-Wan, it's like, losing, she'll basically be losing her brother, So, this is going to be fucking sad. We did have Ahsoka versus Maul, which I do know that they said that they motion captured Ray Park, who was, the body of Maul in both The Phantom Apprentice and in The Phantom Menace, Episode 1, as well as in Solo. And they actually, and I remember I heard this because... I heard about this because Dave Filoni worked on The Mandalorian and they had to work with motion capturing, that he was like, why don't I do some fucking motion capturing for Clone Wars, And so they basically mocapped Ray Park to do his lightsaber movements, legitimately as Maul. So that is all legit Maul. Like, and that's the greatest thing is it's the ultimate combination, I feel like, for Maul, when it's Ray Park's body and his movements and Sam Witwer's voice. The two of those create a great Maul. So that was great. But such an amazing fight. I mean, just first off, in the actual throne room was pretty cool. And then I like when she basically flipped him and threw him out. And I like that, he gets thrown through a window, but his double-bladed lightsaber also just leaves imprints too. I thought that it's kind of funny, honestly, but it makes sense that would happen. So the throne room fight was really, really cool. It wasn't like the most like huge flippy movement that Clone Wars often does, but it was like just enough to where it was pretty cool. It makes me wonder though if I would have to imagine that Ray Park was being mocapped off someone else too. Like he was actually dueling with someone who was doing Ahsoka's movements. So I'd have to assume, but I don't know. But that was pretty cool. And then when they actually like got up to the top of the city, that was really cool. Sort of like a not really like a tight wire, but the fact that they just have so little like room, they have so little footing on those beams, which was really cool. Oof. And again, it does sort of remind me of the third Pirates of the Caribbean movie, where Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones are on top of the mast and they're sword fighting, which, and I like here that they do have, like, there are a couple shots of both of them, kind of, trying to keep their footing, they're trying to keep their balance. So that was really cool. And then I like the move that they do here. Hold up. The move that they do, because he has her on the edge. And join me or die. Oh, this show is so beautiful too. It's amazing. And yeah, and then she throws him off. I love that. It's interesting right there. He is willing, like he's doing all of this because he's alive, honestly. But he will take an opportunity to die, honestly. So that's really interesting. Kind of goes into a bit of Maul's psyche about that. It's like while he's preparing everything in order to gain power during all this, if he dies, it's no skin off his nose, basically. It doesn't bother him if he does die, and he has an opportunity right there, and she doesn't let him do it. So that was pretty cool. And then they end up capturing him, which I love what he talks about here.
We're all going to burn! We're all going to die! You don't know what you're doing!
He's kind of like I wrote down a captured prophet, basically. He's the only one that has had this vision of what's going to come, and he's trying. He's desperately trying, and obviously because he might know like what's going to happen with the clones. He might know about Order 66. So yeah, when a bunch of clones just get up there, he's like, shit, we gotta get out of here. We are all going to die, basically. So that was pretty crazy, actually. Just him yelling about that, but they did capture him, which is pretty cool. They did capture him, which is really interesting, and lets us keep going for 2 more episodes. So yeah, this is very interesting because it's like, it's not just, oh well, Maul's on Mandalore, so we have to go defeat him. It's that Maul is on Mandalore because this is the other side of Revenge of the Sith that we're watching. This is the other side of the movie. So I really do love that, and I'm very curious as to where we're going in the final 2 episodes. But yeah, that is pretty much it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Star Wars The Clone Wars reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.